What's good, everyone? Thank you for stopping by to visit the channel for this upcoming game preview. If you want to stay updated in the world of college football, if you haven't done so already, pound that subscribe button, click that notification bell, and select all so you won't miss another video. Something new for this year, if you want more stats, charts, tables of your favorite team, I have a Twitter page designed for that. The link is in the description below, and it should be coming on the screen shortly. In the second half of our early blockbuster SEC weekend, we got a primetime matchup between the Georgia Bulldogs and the Auburn Tigers. Georgia woke up from a disastrous first half to steamroll Arkansas, and Auburn took care of business against a top 25 Kentucky team in a noon kick game. From someone who lived in the South for over 30 years, I am used to seeing this game in November and not in the first week of October. But, you know, it's 2020, and I'm here so I won't get fined. I'm just happy for football, so let's get to the tail of the tape. So as we review the tail of the tape between these two teams, this has all the makings of a defensive slugfest. We got the top two teams in defensive SP going at it. Now, Georgia's defense remained at the top defensive spot from last week's showing, but their offense dropped significantly, going from 27th to 50th due to a poor performance against an Arkansas team who had a defensive SP Plus ranking of 62nd. Auburn saw a big leap based on their performance against Kentucky. The Tigers' defensive SP Plus jumped from 6th to 2nd, the offense SP Plus jumped from 17th to 14th, and their overall SP Plus ranking went from 11th to 6th. SP Plus still taps Georgia as a 3-point favorite, and Vegas currently has the Bulldogs as a 7-point favorite. Something new for this year in the tail of the tape, anytime you have a highlight that is in green, that also shows an advantage that one team has over the other. Based on what we're seeing, the defensive SP Plus rankings for Georgia holds an advantage over Auburn's offense SP Plus, and vice versa for Auburn. I cannot lie, that first half was brutal to watch for Georgia on the offensive end. DeJuan Mathis looked uncomfortable throwing the football. He had a lot of nerves out there on the field. The one play that stood out to me was on the 3rd and 11. Arkansas just scored on their previous drive. Mathis took the snap. First off, the snap was clean. So he still bobbled the ball, got flushed from the pocket, and had so much room to run. He still got a good block, and he stepped out a yard short. The reason why I say that play stood out to me, because on the previous drive, he had a 3rd and long situation. He took off, ran. It was the right play, but he got absolutely blasted before he could step out of bounds. The offense with Mathis didn't get any type of momentum with him as a signal caller. And as you can see in the graphic, Georgia's offense had a 10% success rate in the first quarter. Some of y'all may not know what success rate is, but if you saw the game and if you remember, even if you don't want to remember it, that first quarter offense was about as bad as it could get. Now, I got that out the way. I am going to talk about some good things Georgia did. Primarily their defense and special teams took the game over. Defensively against Arkansas, Georgia was exceptional. They did exactly what you were supposed to do against an offense that is overmatched. Once Arkansas got out of their initial script, the Dogs put the clamp down. Monty Rice and Nakobe Dean were flying around the ball. The secondary settled in. They did not allow Felipe Franks to get any kind of rhythm. Georgia's punting game last Saturday was ridiculous. Jake Camarda spent his day pinning Arkansas in the shadow of their end zone, and the punt return game did their job, giving the offense short fields. Georgia had a plus 21 field position advantage over Arkansas in the game. Now, when Stetson Bennett came in for relief from Mathis, the offense looked better when Tom Monken decided to go up tempo, and he gave Bennett some easy throws to make. After the weekend, Bennett ranked 2nd in passing success rate among the SEC quarterbacks with a 53% success rate. Now, he did average 6.9 yards per attempt, so they did not ask him to make a lot of deep throws to stretch the field vertically, but he made the safe throws, which indeed kept the offense moving down the field. The main thing that stood out to me when I watched Auburn's offense on tape was the number 58. The reason why I say the number 58 was because that is the number of plays Auburn ran against Kentucky. For a Gus Malzahn coach team, that's considered old school, playing football in the phone booth type speed. But here's the kicker. They ran for less than 100 yards while running for 3.1 yards per carry, and the offensive line was responsible for 1.76 line yards per carry. Kentucky's defense stopped 31% of Auburn's carries at or behind the line of scrimmage on Saturday. When Auburn had 4 yards or less to go, Kentucky stopped 40% of Auburn's running plays at or behind the line of scrimmage. That is not the typical Auburn offensive line. Typically, their best offenses are the ones who can run the ball better, control the line of scrimmage, and it opens up the entire offensive playbook, especially when you have a dual threat quarterback. Saturday, Bo Nix with Chad Morris calling the shots. He threw the ball much better from the pocket with a 48% passing success rate at 8.6 yards per pass attempt, which is an improvement from last year when he had a 39% success rate at 6.2 yards per pass attempt. Defensively, I thought Auburn held up well against an experienced Kentucky offensive line, with the Tigers having to replace Derek Brown, Marlon Davidson, and Nick Coe. I thought this would have been a difficult matchup out of the gate against Kentucky's offensive line. The play of the day was their goal line stand to stop Kentucky inside the 5-yard line before the half ended. I must admit, initially, I thought Kentucky got in on 1st and goal, but then Kentucky proceeded to throw a pick in the end zone, and that essentially ended any type of good mojo they had going into the half. And as you can see in the 3rd quarter, Kentucky just didn't have anything left in the tank. Auburn took the game over in the 4th. Kentucky gifted Auburn 3 turnovers, and the Wildcats had a negative 16-yard field position margin, and it ended up being too much for them to overcome. Also, when you attempt a fake punt on your own 30-yard line and you do not get it, I mean, you don't need math to say that that's not going to end well. In the keys of the game, for Auburn, they have to find balance between running and passing. With a Kirby Smart defense, your quarterback must be accurate throwing not just downfield, but also in the intermediate routes. Bo Nix was able to hit a few high-low reads, and he found soft spots when Kentucky was playing zone coverage. The running game must open up for Chad Morris's offense to work. For Georgia, they have to win the field position battle. If Georgia's front 7 can give their offense a short field to work with, and their offense doesn't have to march the football down the field, they can get cheap points and pin Auburn deep in the shadow of their end zone. Last week against Kentucky, Auburn had 2 scoring drives greater than 60 yards, and the other 2 scores were 23 yards and 27 yards, respectively. So, I feel this game is going to be a defensive bloodbath in my opinion. Now, I say all of this, and on paper, this does look like it's going to be a defensive slugfest, but I have seen defensive slugfests get drunk, turn into a 54-48 game, and go into 7 overtimes. At the time of recording, Kirby Smart came out and stated JT Daniels is cleared to play. I think this is an interesting development. Maybe Daniels will play in the game. Maybe this is a ploy to get Auburn to put more time in game prep, but we're going to find out this Saturday. The question I have for both teams is this: can either team dominate the line of scrimmage? Can Georgia's offensive line dominate against a talented Auburn front, considering they did not impose their will against Arkansas? And can Auburn find a way to avoid negative plays against an aggressive Georgia defense? This is a tough one for me, as I feel my thoughts are going to change each day. But in the end, I'm picking Georgia to win this game by the score of 17-13. I think Georgia's defense will end up being the difference maker in this one by getting in more negative plays and force Auburn to stay behind the chains. And that is going to be a wrap this week for another game preview. Let me know what your thoughts are in the game in the comment section below. Give me your score prediction and also tell me why your respective team is going to win the game. I hope you enjoyed the video. All I ask is that you give the video a like, help the channel grow. And if you love college football as much as I do, hit that subscribe button if you want to stay updated with the latest previews and the occasional highlights. Don't forget about the Twitter page if you want more stats, charts, or anything else you want to know about your team, like how they run the ball on 3rd down, how do they run it on 2nd and long, how well do they pass on 3rd and long. Anything you want, I can probably find it. As always, thank you for watching.